This video, we are going to create our first promises in JavaScript. So if you remember, when we wanted to make a network request, we were using XML HTTP request. Similarly, whenever you want to create a promise, you have to use a constructor known as promise. So if you look at promise, you'll see it is a function, right? And the name is starting with capital letter. It means you have to call this function with new keyword. And let's store that into a variable named promise. Here p is starting with lowercase, so they are not same. You press enter, you will see an error. The error says that resolver undefined is not a function. It means that this is a promise, or you can think of it to be a receipt. But how will this receipt be resolved? So that is what you need to define inside a function, and that is the function that you pass as a callback. So here, when you're creating a promise, your promise needs to pass a function. And that function will decide when that promise will be resolved or not. So when you take a look at it here, you can think of this promise that is coming on this receipt. It is about a future value that can be synchronous or asynchronous. But important thing is, this receipt can resolve into a burger or can get rejected into sold out. Similarly, different kind of value can resolve into different stuff and get rejected in a different way. And that is what gets decided by this callback function. So now when you press enter, it will work, but you have just added an empty function that is not going to do anything. But what if you look at a promise? So promise is a placeholder object that can resolve into a value that can be synchronous or asynchronous in future. So here we haven't passed any logical function to it, because right now we are just saying just go ahead, pass a function as a placeholder, that's all. So let us try to do it here. We'll say let promise is going to be new promise, and whenever you're creating a promise, the promise needs a function based on which it will be able to understand when to resolve it and when to reject it. So here I need to pass a resolver function. So I'll say resolver function. I'll go ahead, define that resolver function, and what this resolver function is going to do. So if you take a look at this example, it is going to either get resolved or it is going to get rejected. So here in the resolver function, because we are passing it to promises, we'll get access to two functions. The first one you can call it resolve, or second one you can call it reject. So whenever you want to resolve this promise into a burger, you can call this. Otherwise, you can call reject. So I want to resolve the promise by sending a burger after 5 seconds. So what can I do? I can just be like, okay, go ahead, set timeout of 5 seconds. And whenever 5 seconds is over, you just have to call this function resolve that we are getting access to just because we are passing it to promises. So here we have resolve and we just need to call it with a burger. So let us recap it again. We are creating a new promise, and let's call that promise to be receipt. The promise takes a callback function. That callback function gets access to two functions, resolve or reject, because this receipt can either get resolved or it can get rejected. So right now I just want to give them a burger by resolving it, and we are resolving using set timeout after 5000 milliseconds. So refresh it. When you look at receipt, you will see that the promise is pending right now. Can you remember what it means? So whenever you create a promise, a default state is going to be pending. But now when you look at the value, you will see the promise is fulfilled. So this promise can resolve to a value in future. So in the starting it was pending, but in future it got resolved into a burger. But what if the burger is sold out? So instead of calling resolve, what you can do, you can call reject. So you can be like reject, and here instead of burger, you will send sold out. So for that, I'll just pass a cross. So let's refresh it, look at receipt. So here there is no value and the state is pending. What if you look at receipt now? You can see that the state of the promise is rejected and the value that we got is a cross mark. So a promise is a placeholder for future value. That can either be cross or it can be a burger. So in the case of resolve, it is going to be a burger, but in the case of reject, it is going to be a cross. So now if you look at receipt, you'll see it is pending. There is no value to it. But next time when you look at it, you'll see the promise is fulfilled and result is a burger. So this is all a promise is. Now you must be thinking how it is solving the problem of inversion of control. So let us try to understand how it can solve the problem of inversion of control. Say you have a function and that function is named wait, and what it does is it accepts a callback function and it will call the callback function after 5 seconds. So it will be like call the callback function after 5000 milliseconds. So here what I want to do is I want to call the function wait, and here you just need to pass a callback function. And this callback function is going to call console.log hello promise. So we have created a function named wait, and this is going to get called in future after 5000 millisecond with the message hello promise. Refresh it here, and what we will see after 5000 millisecond is a message hello promise. That we can see it here. So here we have created this function. This is where the inversion of control is happening because we are passing this function and it can be called multiple times. So this guy can be like, okay, go ahead, call it 3 times. So now what will happen is, just because we are using this function and we are giving them the control, you can see hello promise is being called 3 times. When you are calling this function is not giving you anything in return. So that means that you don't know what is going to happen there, and that is what inversion of control is. It is not giving in return anything. Like when you're going to the burger shop, you're giving them $10 and they're not giving you any receipt for it. But that is the problem, right? So that is what we need to solve using promises. So here we are going to create another function called waitPR, and we are not directly going to do this. What we are going to do, we are going to give you access to a receipt. So how will you create a receipt? The way you create a receipt in JavaScript is by using new promise. And promise accepts what? A callback function. That callback function gets access to 2 things, resolve and reject. So what I want is, I want to resolve this promise after 5 seconds. So how can you do that? So you'll be like, okay, just go ahead, call set timeout and call the function resolve and call it after 5000 milliseconds. Here we don't even need to get access to a callback function. So as soon as you call the function, here it will be, you want to wait. So you'll be like, you just create a variable time, and here you will be like, I want to call wait promise. And wait promise is not going to accept anything because it is just going to resolve that promise after 5 seconds. When you save it and refresh it here, you look at time, you will see that this promise is pending right now. Sorry, this message is coming. Let's just comment it out here. Refresh it. Now when we look at time, you will see that the promise is pending right now. And the value is undefined. What if you look at time now? The promise is fulfilled and you do not have any value. But at least you get to know, okay, after 5 seconds it is completed. So then what you can do, this is a promise. And whenever this promise is fulfilled, means completed, what I want you to do, I want you to call this function, and this function is going to log a message saying hello promise. So try to understand it here. So here when we were using this pattern, we were giving access to the callback function to wait, and wait was going to call that function. Here we are not doing that. Here we are saying wait promise is just going to return a promise that it will resolve after 5000 milliseconds. And when it resolves, you just have to call this function. You are calling the wait promise function. The wait promise function will inform you. In return, it gave you a receipt named time. That is where you were able to access whether it is completed or not, whether it is completed or not. So here, looking at the receipt, you were able to understand whether the task that you have given is completed or not. And when it was not completed, you're not doing anything. But as soon as it is completed, you just have to call hello promise. Here, let us change the message to hello callback. So here we have message hello callback. Here we have message hello promise. Refresh it here. So what you will see is hello callback will come 3 times and hello promise is coming 1 time. So you'll be like, okay, what if this promise started messing up with you and has resolved this promise 4 times, similar to how they did it here, right? Now, what will happen when you refresh it? What do you think will happen? So maybe you will think that it will get called 4 times and this one will get called 3 times, but that is not what is happening. Here you can see that hello callback is called 4 times, but promise is only called once. And that is where the most powerful feature of a promise comes in play. Promise can only be resolved once. It cannot be resolved more than once. So if you have resolved this promise here, it cannot be resolved or rejected again. Even if you call reject and you refresh it here, nothing will happen. Because promise can only be in one of 3 states. The state is pending, resolved or rejected. So right now when you look at time, you'll see it is fulfilled. So resolved can also be called as fulfilled. So the promise is fulfilled with a value undefined because we are not sending anything. If you want to send any value, it will be perfect. So here we have solved multiple problems by using promises. So this is the code that is running in present and this is the code that is running in future. I have control over both of them. Promises solves the problem of inversion of control, and it also solves the problem of a function being called multiple times. Here, the promise can only be resolved once. That's all.